Well, thank you for joining us for tonight's Backpacks to Briefcases, leveraging LinkedIn, build a personal brand, and network. I'm Greg Berry, Assistant Director in the UAB Office of Alumni Affairs. Just a quick note, since we are virtual, don't be surprised if things may seem out of place or technical issues pop up. If you experience problems with your audio or video, please click the reconnect button at the top of your screen. This will get you back to the webinar right away. Today's webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded onto our website tomorrow. If you have any questions for tonight's guest, be sure to toss them in the chat. We'll have time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. Today's session is part of our ongoing Backpacks to Briefcases Evergreen program. Through this series, we have 4 primary events each year, 2 in the spring, 2 in the fall. Topics will include financial planning, workplace skills, personal life, and personal branding, like tonight's session. Between each event, we'll have chances to take part in golden electives. These can be lunch and learns and networking and volunteer opportunities. To get an Evergreen certificate and an Evergreen lapel pin, you must complete all 4 Evergreen events and 2 golden electives. Now, keep in mind, they don't have to happen during the same calendar year. They can be over a course of time. We invite you to join us whenever you have time, and you can find out more at alumni.uab.edu/backpacks. At the end of tonight's presentation, I'll highlight other upcoming Evergreen certificate opportunities. At this time, I would like to introduce tonight's guest, Brandon Wright. Brandon joined us at UAB in 2018 as the director of the Career Center here on campus. Currently, he's working on his PhD in public health education and promotion at UAB and will be eventually a UAB alum. Brandon earned his Master of Science in College Student Personnel and Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Marketing, and Management, both from Arkansas Tech University. So at this time, I would like to formally welcome Brandon and turn things over to him. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. It's an honor and a privilege. And I'm excited to hop right in. LinkedIn, I've been on this platform for a long time and definitely having almost 10 years in career development. Really advocate for individuals to engage in the platform and to maximize the benefits of LinkedIn. And so before we get started, I just want to know if you have ever been offered a job on LinkedIn, just put that in the chat. If you've been offered an interview on LinkedIn, just put that in the chat. If anyone has reached out to you about applying for a job or thinking about an internship or fellowship or any sort of opportunity, go ahead and put that in the chat. I love to see that. I love to read that. And as we go through this presentation, hopefully I'll motivate you to truly enhance your LinkedIn profile, your online brand, but ultimately maximize that platform. And so we're going to jump right in, so if you got a LinkedIn account, go ahead and log into your LinkedIn account. If you're new to LinkedIn, go ahead and go to linkedin.com. I want you guys to follow along with me. I want you to see this is very practical. I'm actually going to talk about things that I know a little bit about. And I'm going to help you create that account/profile and just make sure that you have a strong password for your profile. And so, here's some tips. A lot of us log on to these platforms, and this is not a social networking platform. LinkedIn is not a social networking platform. It is for professionals who are seeking opportunities. And so the first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is to upload a professional looking photo. Depending on your industry, that can look different, right? So if you are in a graphic designer, let's say you're a journalist, or some sort of creative, your profile picture can have a little bit more creative to it, right? But if you're in the corporate world, or you're working in government, or you're working in healthcare, it needs to be pretty much shoulders up, professional. All right. And then secondly, we're going to go to developing a headline. And what that really looks like is, you'll see underneath people's name, it'll say director of the Career Center for me, or it'll say engineer at Axiom for others. You can develop that to say whatever you want it to say. A lot of times, what I encourage individuals to do is to really point out the industries that they represent or they advocate for, or what matters to them. And so, once again, I'm going to walk you guys through that, what that looks like on my end here shortly, through a profile of my staff. And next, you're going to develop a professional summary. What this really looks like is this a quick 3 to 4 sentence snapshot, a snapshot of your career. Let's say you got 10 years in HR and you're looking for opportunities to transition into finance, right? That can be a part of your professional summary. And then ultimately, we want you to go down your profile and list your experiences, just like they are on your resume. It can be it's chronological. It'll be reverse chronological, but list your experiences top to bottom. LinkedIn is not a place where you got to be worried about having a condensed resume. LinkedIn is there for people looking for as much professional experience as they can about you. So from everything from the skills that you possess, from the projects that you worked on, to the anybody that can recommend you. If you guys go on my LinkedIn right now, I'm Brandon Wright at University of Alabama at Birmingham. That's just another place for you to kind of see what I'm talking about and how you can maximize LinkedIn. So, ultimately today I want you to be able to leave with at least one benefit of creating a LinkedIn profile. I want you to be able to create to identify the key features of LinkedIn, and I want you to be able to work it from whatever device you're on. So hopefully we hit all those marks today as we navigate this presentation. And if you have any questions, Greg is monitoring the chat, and I will leave time at the end to answer any questions that you might have. And so go ahead and shoot those questions into the chat. Be happy to get to those when we get to Q&A. All right. And so this is an interesting data point. 90% of companies use social media to market, post, recruit, to engage in the whole recruitment process. And so anytime you submit an application anywhere, there is a high probability that someone is going to type your name into Google. And whatever pops up, they're going to be making snap judgments on that. And so if LinkedIn is an opportunity for you to build a brand that is solid around your professional experience, we don't want to leave that stone unturned. And so if we know, now you know that HR recruiters, campus recruiters, talent acquisition specialists, the whole entire HR department, whether it's a CEO, chief of human resource personnel, they're going to be going online and Googling you. And so if you've never typed your name into Google, go ahead and do that now too, and let me know what you find. So just so that you know, that's the basis for why we want to make sure that we are telling our own story online through LinkedIn, when it gives us the opportunity to really exercise the professional development and career trajectory that is paramount to us. So moving right along. So why do you need to be on LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is a social network for professionals. Once again, you don't get on LinkedIn trying to make friends. You get on LinkedIn to build a professional network. So let's say you're trying to grow your entrepreneur network. You can get on LinkedIn and introduce yourself to other entrepreneurs. You can get on there and introduce yourself to people that are doing things real estate. Whatever it might be, you can get on LinkedIn and look for like-minded professionals that have a career trajectory that is similar to what you want to do. And so that's why you should be on LinkedIn over, I think There are several features that are similar to Facebook. So if you ever navigated Facebook, it's going to feel very familiar to you. Additionally, on LinkedIn, you're going to be able to once again connect with individuals that are ahead of you in your field, and you're going to be able to connect with individuals that might want you to pull them along, and the individuals that are on the same level with you. That's why I love LinkedIn so much. It gives you the opportunity to connect with individuals that inspire you, and they're willing to reach out and connect with you and share their journey with you. It also offers you the opportunity to search for tons of jobs, and that comes with the territory. If you fill out the profile and you let individuals know that you have that you're open to work, they will reach out to you and they will push jobs your way. You can share your resume on LinkedIn and individuals will review it. Other individuals will share your resume with their network. You can conduct company research, industry research. There's a ton of alumni information on LinkedIn. And so there's so many benefits to LinkedIn that can actually work in your favor when you are in a place whether you want to transition into a different area. Let's say you want a career shift. You can navigate LinkedIn to help you with that. Or let's say you want a promotion. You can navigate LinkedIn to help that. You can use LinkedIn for a number of things with regard to your career. And so there are several reasons why, but those are just a few. And so let's take a tour. I think we're going to take a tour of one of my staff members' LinkedIn. And once again, I hope you have your LinkedIn pulled up. I hope you're working on it. I hope that you're putting questions in the chat so that we can actually make sure that you benefit from this session as we move forward. And so here's a snapshot of the home screen. And so this is Dino Martinez. He's an associate director on my team in the Career Center. And so this is what it's going to look like when you logged in. Right? There's a home screen, very familiar. Right? All this should look very similar. If you've ever checked out Facebook, this is going to all look very familiar. So you're going to find your profile and background photo and a news feed, and also tips on other professionals. I love this LinkedIn news component. I typically will read one of those articles a day. I don't use Twitter for news. I find that LinkedIn news works for me in the field that I'm in. And so I appreciate it. And it's pretty well-rounded for what they offer. And so this, the news feed, you guys are probably familiar. They're going to work to make sure that individuals that you're connected with, you're going to see their posts. You're going to see what sort of professional, if there's webinars, if there's trainings, if your friends are getting promoted, you're going to see if they're getting degrees. You're going to see that that's motivating, and all the other things you can do. Just like on a network, you can comment, celebrate all these fun things. You can also make a post. If you're looking for a job, you can share your resume right there in the post and ask other individuals to share it. This is what LinkedIn is for. So don't be bashful. The thing that I encourage folks to think through the most is, their connections, because 70% of jobs are still not posted. And so if 70% of jobs are not posted, that means they're filled before they even hit, Indeed.com. And so your network is worth its weight in gold. So if you're on LinkedIn and you're connected with 10, 15, 20 people, we got to work on that. And that's you can be strategic about that. I'm not saying go on LinkedIn and connect with a whole bunch of strangers. I'm saying find individuals you have common interests with and figure out how you can add value to that relationship, and then you send that request, right? So if I want to, let's just say I want to connect with a director that is in enrollment management. I can go on here and I can click on the director. I just type in director of enrollment management at a university, and I find an individual, and I can look at their profile, and I can say, hey, I can send a note and say, hey, I'm Brandon Wright. I'm the director of a career center, but I'm having some problems with my recruitment system to recruit employers. I'm currently using Salesforce. From my understanding, most enrollment teams use Salesforce to recruit students. Would you mind setting aside some time to talk with me about how you all use this resource to recruit more students so that I can do the same with employers? Simple as that. You find somebody with a connection, they can be in a different industry, and then you make that request. Most of the time people will be, yes, that'll work out. Let's set up a time. And so find individuals that you have connections with, whether they're first degree, you know them, or someone that you know them, and then you build from there. Next, you can find jobs, right? So if you're looking for jobs, a whole lot of jobs are posted in LinkedIn. And so this, you can create the alerts, you can look up salary information, you can take a skills assessment and add that to your profile. You can set up interview prep all in LinkedIn. And so it's a great resource. And if you apply for a job, they're going to let you know the status of that job and let you know how many other people have applied for that job. And so it's really beneficial because, once again, this is a network that's built around, that's focused on your career and focused on how to make sure you get into the next best opportunity that is for you. And so you can build your preference out. You can build out your profile in a way that demonstrates what you're looking for. And LinkedIn will push those opportunities to you and encourage you to apply. All right. And so you're also going to get messages from your network, messages from recruiters that want some time with you. You can do a number of things. You can send your resume back to individuals. You can send presentations. You can do a number of things, but LinkedIn gives you the opportunity, gives you a safe place to communicate with, once again, your network. And at this point, if you are on LinkedIn, your network also includes individuals that hold opportunity, right? And so do not disregard when someone sends you a request to connect. I would be cautious to add everyone, but I'm also going to make sure that you understand that there's an opportunity that presents itself on LinkedIn that if you're not ready for and you're not cautious about, you can miss that opportunity. And so LinkedIn, you can maintain several messages and several opportunities inside of LinkedIn in which, can make your next move your best move. All right. And just like any other platform, you can receive all type of notifications about jobs, about a new announcements, about, when your boss birthday is, so you can send her a happy birthday email. And so just like any other profile, they'll show you when folks are looking at your profile. And so I think my profile, I got an email this week that said I popped up in 62 searches from recruiters this week. And so what that means is people went on LinkedIn and typed in keywords like probably career and recruitment, employer relations, or strategic planning, and my profile popped up in their recruitment searches. They were trying to fill a role or invite individuals to apply for jobs. And so I get those notifications as well. And so ultimately, this is your profile. And so you can see this is Dino. He has his headline. as he's the assistant director in the UAB Career Center. He's a student advocate. You can see some of the analytics around his page. He's gotten viewed by 49 different folks. He's got 5,000 post impressions. He showed up in 29 searches this week. And so you can maintain and build this out as strategic as you want with a cover photo. You can include blogs, articles. You can maintain as much privacy as you want, but this is essentially what you're going to get whenever you upload and include your information on LinkedIn. And so let's build out your profile. Hopefully you all have seen mine. If you haven't, I will share it for sure with you. And then hopefully you have added questions into the chat, because I want to definitely help you build out your profile. But other than that, let me see. So let's talk through some of your takeaways and any sort of questions that you might have with regard to this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and put my LinkedIn profile link in the chat. So let's talk about your takeaways. Any takeaways, any questions at this point?
Yeah, there's a few that are popping up in the chat room, and I would encourage others, if you have questions, now's your time to get those addressed by Brandon. I'm going to start off with this one. Would you suggest purchasing a premium LinkedIn subscription? And if you do, what are the benefits of it?
Not if you are not serious about staying engaged on LinkedIn, I wouldn't do it. So the premium really gives you more access to specifics, right? Instead of letting you know that 62 people viewed your profile, it's going to show me Greg and Greg's team viewed my profile. It's going to show me, so it's going to give you more granular data. Another thing that it's going to do that the regular subscription, it just gives you more access to some of the different educational components that LinkedIn offers. But I would only say individuals who are active on LinkedIn, and I would say you're posting multiple times a week. You are actively engaging with your network's posts. You're actively creating articles and things like that. I would just get active first on LinkedIn. Give it some time, build up your network with folks that you're connected with. And that should be enough. I do a lot on LinkedIn multiple times a week, and I still don't have a premium account. I do know plenty of my peers that have it, but and I get job offers. I get people that want me to apply for certain things, and but if you care about that granular data and you care about that specific information, I think that it could be beneficial. I just don't want you to get lost in that. I want you to maximize, get the most out the platform first. It's like getting the biggest cable package when you only watch 3 channels. No, you don't need that. You need basic cable, right? So that would be my suggestion, Greg. Great question.
Baby steps.
Yep.
So question is, what's your opinion on more relaxed photos in different professions? Pictures that show a hobby, children, pets, something less professional. I think you addressed it a little bit, but can you expand on that and why it's important to kind of steer away?
Yeah. So once again, I think it depends, right? So if you're a vet, yeah, that's fine. You're looking for clients. If you're an animal rights advocate, then those things lines up. If you're working childhood education and childcare, or you're working with orphans or whatever it might be, it just has to speak to your profile. Now, if my profile had a picture of me with a helmet on it, and it has not, and I don't work in athletics, but that's just me. I like football. That there's a mismatch there. There's a misalignment there. And so I'm sorry if y'all hear the siren. Okay, we are gone. I think we're in the clear. But I would steer away from it because here's the thing: it's so hard to unscramble eggs. And online, you have digital footprints that you leave everywhere. You have these footprints that you leave, and I want you to present the best first impression that individuals will see of you. And so that's why we go with the professional headshot, professionally done. It doesn't have to be expensive, but more so, it has to align with your industry, right? I wouldn't want to see Greg sitting on a horse when he is not in that field, right? That's going to confuse me. That's probably going to make me think he's not serious about this network or this platform. And so those are people are making opinions about you, and you just want to make sure that you don't give anyone the option or opportunity to make the wrong opinion about you.
I was in the process of trying to share your page. You should be able to see what Brandon's look like, and you can see his professional headshot there and what he has. And I think that's very important. Good information about that, Brandon. So, you don't have to be new to the workplace to actually get on LinkedIn. We actually have somebody that has a LinkedIn profile. They have the photo, but they're already lost about adding the initial info. They're semi-retired, but they want to be able to use it for some nonprofit board work. Any ideas for them?
Yeah, so I sit on a couple boards right now, and you can add nonprofit work on LinkedIn. I'm the president of our state association. I got that information on there as well. So that's a great example. So even for nonprofit work, there are a ton of nonprofit advocates and CEOs and just a whole network of individuals that might be able to help you, even if you are in a place where you're trying to get into nonprofit work. There's individuals on this network that can help you. Now, let's say you sit in a specific chair on, let's say you're with United Way and you sit in the finance committee. You can talk about your responsibilities, how big the budget is and all that fun jazz, what the allocation process looks like for United Way. And those are keywords that's going to show up when other nonprofit recruiters are looking for volunteers and looking for people to sit on their board. I've actually been reached out from nonprofits on LinkedIn for me to come and attend an interest opportunity for their board. And so definitely you have the opportunity to demonstrate what you want to do in the nonprofit world in a very professional way, and your interest in furthering nonprofit work.
So to take it a stretch further, the person that asked that, where do they go to get these updates in? And if I need to share the screen, I can share the screen and we kind of go through and kind of show where it's at. And this person admits, it might be just too basic for them. Let me see if I can't pull that back up, Brandon.
Yeah. So I would say if you're trying to take on nonprofit work, scroll up, Greg. If you're trying to take on nonprofit work as a second, let's just say that's your second career after you've retired, I would stop right there at experience. And from there, I'm gonna put in. So right now, if I was retired and I was sitting on the board for Goodwill, it wouldn't be all the way down on that page. It would be right here at the top. And so I'd go in and I think there's like a pencil where you can at the top. Let me make sure.
Yeah, there would be. And since this is yours, there's not one because I can't edit it. But there's going to be a pencil.
Yeah, I would type in all the nonprofit information And I would, I encourage people to think critically about that experience. Yeah, it's nonprofit work, but when you sit on those boards, you're actually helping support people. You're helping support community engagement. You're impacting different places in your community. And so think about critically really what you're doing. You're doing more than voting. I look at nonprofit work through the lens of how it's impacting communities, right? And so you can list details about your responsibilities. Yeah, you see the pencil there. So I would click on like that plus sign and add in Big Brother, Big Sister, or Habitat for Humanity. You can do a number of those things right there, and you can list board member, chair of this committee, and then list all your responsibilities to the organization.
And hopefully that helps the webinar attendee kind of understand where they need to go. So once you're signed in, you're looking for a couple of different things over on the right side of the feed, your personal feed. Right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing that. Another question is, what's your opinion on sharing learning certificates? LinkedIn gives the option to share from LinkedIn and the organization. Is it correct to share both?
Yeah, share all your certificates. Upload your share. So there's a section on here that has like publications, courses. I'm going to, and then there's also the licenses and certificates. You should see that's on my profile, licenses and certificates. I'm certified strength and conditioning specialist. I'm an assessment certified individual. Share all your certificates and all the licenses. Once again, you don't have to be concerned about the length on LinkedIn. You don't want to leave no stone unturned because you never know what type of leader someone is looking for. I have a bachelor's in business, a master's in higher ed, and I'm getting a master's in public health. That's a unique tapestry and I played football in college, right? These are things that make up who you are. And I don't want anyone, when they leave your page, to not be aware of some additional professional development that you took part in, but it was not made available on your LinkedIn profile. And so whether it's a LinkedIn certificate, a Microsoft certificate, a Google certificate, I want you to share. When you get on LinkedIn, you'll see there's a ton of people that share these IBM certificates, and you see that, but they're doing that because they're letting folks know, they're putting people on notice. I'm increasing my skill set and I'm remaining relevant. And somebody wants that. Somebody wants a self-learner, a self-starter, someone who's continuing to develop, someone who's getting unique skill sets, whether you're completing Toastmasters or whatever that might be. I want you to upload those certificates and those licenses on LinkedIn and get as much of that professional career related information on LinkedIn as possible. Great question.
Couple of networking related questions for LinkedIn. So as a student, they're not sure what value they can add when they reach out to new contacts in an industry and government. So how can they add value to that conversation?
Yeah, I think so. As a student, it's okay just to say, hey, I'm reaching out. Your profile resembles a career path that I am interested in. Here's what I know about what it's going to take for me to become a production engineer. Line these things out, right? You're lining these things out. And then you can say, hey, is there anything else that I'm missing that you can help me with? I would appreciate it. Thank you. But basically, what you've just done was you've shown them that you're serious about this and that you've done your due diligence, but ultimately you're not coming to the table just oblivious to what it's going to take to become a production engineer. And then when they accept your profile, when they accept your when they accept your invite, that when you get the opportunity to chat with them, you can then say, hey, is there anything that you're working on right now that I can help you with? That's perfect. I don't know a person right now, Greg, that doesn't have too much on their in their hands that they can use help with. So when you get in that opportunity and you show this individual that you're invested, and that you're invested to the point where you're saying, hey, how about I help you with this report? How about I send you over this article that I read that I think can help you, right? These are things that are going to let people know that you're serious about this relationship and that you're here to add value. Just sending a hey, I read this leadership article and I thought you'd find this interesting, right? Hey, I read this article on da 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 da, and I thought about you when I read it, right? These are things that demonstrate value and can get you through the front door.
Showing an initiative can get you to through a lot of doors. And if you're looking to network
about who I follow and who I don't follow. So yes, I must say yes. I think you got to protect your brand. You got to protect your mental health. You got to protect what you process and what you're reading. And so I've definitely done that. Yeah, you don't have to be connected with anybody on a network like that if they're not, you're not supporting them and they're not supporting your growth. So yes, that's a simple answer. Yeah.
So I've never done that purge on LinkedIn. I've done it on Facebook several times because you go back and go, well, who is this person? You don't remember who they are. So how often would you say you should purge and go through and kind of disconnect from those people?
I do it whenever someone is sharing something that is like, whenever someone is sharing things that are consistently, like, I'll give somebody a pass if they're on here having a rant on a day, right? But if it happens 3 or 4 times, that's a red flag for me. And so I wouldn't recommend doing it and going through and cleaning house on a quarterly basis or anything like that. I would just say be very cautious when you do come across content that once again, like I say, is consistent in being accusatory or unprofessional, and then you make that executive decision to unfollow. They're not gonna see it. It will free your mind up and put you in a better place.
And unless we have more questions come in, I've got 2 that are very similarly related. So the first one is, this person's a business owner. They have a professional photo, but their account on LinkedIn is not active, and they would love to kind of build it back up, which ties into the next one. Does the alumni, the Career Center, offer reviews of LinkedIn profiles? Can you guys help with students and alumni that come to you and kind of give them a little bit more guidance than just the 40 minutes, 50 minutes that we're spending tonight, a little more individualized attention?
Let me do this. Answer to that question is yes. So definitely, if you need help with your LinkedIn profile, there's my Calendly link. Put some time on my calendar, and I'm more than happy to help you get to a place in which you are proud about the billboard that you're putting out there of yourself. I tell people, I think about LinkedIn like a house, right? And ultimately, you want to make sure the outside of your house is a great representation of you, just in case you decide to sell your house, right? Just in case you decide to sell your house, you want to make sure that your yard is cut. You want to make sure that your curbside appeal looks really good, because you never know who's going to drive by and knock and say, hey, are you willing to sell? right? And you want to be in it for a LinkedIn review.
Awesome. And I will make sure to include that link, if you're all right with it, Brandon, in our follow-up tomorrow that we send to everybody that participated. So thank you so much for spending the last 45 minutes with us. I mean, this is very insightful. It's very important information, not just for the individuals that are embarking on a career, but those that are kind of like me, older. It still matters to have a LinkedIn profile. So thank you so much for sharing the information with us tonight.
No problem. Thank you.
You're so welcome. For everybody who attended tonight, just a heads up, a recording will be uploaded to our website tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, when we began, there are upcoming opportunities to earn credit toward an Evergreen certificate. On Wednesday, May 4th, next week, join Leah Ragland from Legacy Credit Union as we discuss the first-time home buying experience during a lunch and learn entitled I'm Home. An invitation for that one went out this evening, and it's already starting to really come in with registrations. Then on Wednesday, May 11th, we'll host the final lunch and learn of the Backpacks to Briefcases spring season interview skills. Adam Roderick from Milo's Tea Company and former colleague of Brandon will explore the important skills needed to effectively communicate who you are. Other webinars that you might be interested in include comedy, Just Say Yes. During this webinar on Thursday, May 19th, join Dr. Kevin Fontaine as we find out what makes something humorous and why laughing makes us feel better. And on Tuesday, June 7th, be part of No Nonsense Nutrition, Balanced Eating Without Breaking Your Budget with Riley Thornton from UAB Employee Wellness. This is going to be part of a 4-part nutrition diet series that we're going to start in June. We'll discuss how to eat healthy despite the rising costs of food. You can get more information and register for these events at alumni.uab.edu/events. And let us help you get through your day or commute. Listening to the UAB Green and Told podcast. New episodes are released every other week and feature members of the UAB community. Be one of the first people to put on a Blaze mascot uniform and Army General and discover why alumni chose their career paths. Download the podcast on Spotify, the Apple Podcast app. You know what? Just go to our website. We have it there too. And be sure to stay on top of all things alumni on social media. You can look us up by searching UAB Alumni on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On LinkedIn that we've been talking about today, and I've already promoted this, search Alumni Career Community. You see the link at the top of the chat. Finally, we'd love to know what you thought about tonight's session. On your screen is a QR code to a short survey. Please take a few moments to give us feedback and let us know your thoughts. Once again, thank you so much for joining us for tonight's discussion with Brandon Wright. Have a great evening, and as always, go Blazers.